Hey you guys, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. As you can see, today we are doing another declutter, and this one is going to be my highlighters. So I have mostly single highlighters and then a few palettes on the top here. This one's gonna be hard, but I really do need to make a pretty decent dent in this. I say that now, but you know how these things go for me. I need to at least try, though, because you know highlighters, so many of them end up going on the face exactly the same, and so there's no reason to have a bunch that all look the same on the face. That being said, I also know myself, and I am super attached to anything that is, like, pretty shiny and that kind of thing. So I'm trying not to set my expectations for myself too high, but I'm also trying to be realistic, and I really do need to make some room here. So let's see how we go. With all of that out of the way, let's go ahead and see what we can do. Oh, before we get into it, I did want to let you know the lighting in this video is a little bit different than in my other declutters, and that's just because the best way to kind of look at something shiny, like when I do swatches and stuff, is in lower lighting. Like here I have a swatch already. You can see that, like, you can just kind of see the sheen a little bit better, as opposed to if I turn my light on, it kind of gets just like a streak of light. So that's why I have the ring light off. Hopefully that's all right with you guys. Now, with all of the rambling out of the way, we will get into it. All right, let's get cracking with these palettes first. So I have this Pure Nude highlighter palette from Essence. This is fine, there's nothing wrong with it. I just never ever reach for this because I have the original Pure Nude highlighter and I love it. And that's really the only one I ever want to use. These are okay, but I think somebody else would get a lot more use out of it than I do, so this is a pretty easy declutter. This one, on the other hand, oh my goodness, I can never get rid of this. This is the ABH Sugar Glow Kit. I don't use this often enough. I really should use it more, but I keep it pretty much because of the sentimental value. You know, the ABH Glow Kits were such a moment in beauty history. And the formulas are really, really nice. I do like them. It's just that, you know, highlighter palettes kind of become a pain in the neck to reach for and all that stuff, but they are really, really pretty. It's not my all-time favorite highlighter formula, but it's so nostalgic that obviously I'm going to hang on to it. This is the Flower Beauty Shimmer and Strobe palette. There used to be like a big chunky brush in here that was super annoying, so I got rid of that. But this formula is crazy beautiful. The gold is a little too deep for me, so I usually just mix it with a little bit of the champagne color. And oh my goodness, it is so smooth and shiny. Look at that. Just stunning. So yeah, for a drugstore palette, like top notch. Like I said, I don't usually reach for palettes all that often, but this one I definitely do. So that's gonna stay for sure. I think those are the only palettes. I have a couple of duos. Let's talk about those. This is the Pixie by Petra Glowy Gossamer Duo in Subtle Sunrise. This is so wildly beautiful that it's crazy. This shade is a little deep for me, but I can make it work, especially if I put it over blush or something. Mainly I have it for this shade right here, the gold. It's like blinding the camera, oh my gosh. You just have to see this gold shade. It has this really beautiful, super thin, kind of baked gelée type formula, and it is beaming. So pretty. So yeah, that's definitely staying as well. And of course, during 21 Days of Beauty, when the Fenty Beauty Kilowatt Duos went on sale, I picked up the one in Lightning Dust and Fire Crystal. I absolutely love it. It has like a subtler sheer highlight on that side and then like the more glimmery blinding one on the other side. They're both absolutely perfect. I love this. Obviously, this is not going anywhere. Yeah, I think that's it for like palettes, duos, and that type of thing. So let's just jump into it. I have creams and powders, but they're all just kind of mixed in together. I probably should have separated them, but whatever. This is the La Arena Sun-Soaked High Shine highlighter in La Arena, I guess, from Alamar Cosmetics. I found this at a TJ Maxx, I think. It's really, really pretty. It's a really nice gold color. And honestly, the shade and the formula remind me a lot of the Anastasia Amrezy one. This one's a little bit darker, though. I kind of just got this, but I feel like the shade is a little deeper than I usually do, and if I'm gonna do something like this, I have a bunch of highlighters that are exactly the same, not the least of which being the Amrezy one itself. I just think someone else would use this more. I didn't think I was gonna get rid of this because it's so new to my collection, and there's nothing wrong with it, it's very pretty. I just know myself, and I'm probably not gonna use it much. Yeah, I'm gonna let that one go. Go me. Look at me making the hard decisions already. On the other hand, this is possibly my current favorite highlighter, at least that's available on the market. LOL, we'll get to that later. But this is the Rare Beauty highlighter in Exhilarate. This, spoiler alert, is my top highlighter of 2023. This is crazy. I love everything about this. I love the packaging. I love the texture. I love the color. I love just the perfect balance of shimmy, shiny, beautiful, just gleaminess, but also like super micro fine flecks of glitter. Oh my god, I'm gonna stop before I literally just like wax poetic about this highlighter, but it is perfect. Seriously, if you're in the market for a new highlighter, this is my current #1 recommendation. So good. So my #1 highlighter ever, I'm gonna be quick about this one because you cannot get this anymore. The ABH Amrezy highlighter. I am so sparing with how I use this because it's not available anymore. It is the most beautiful highlighter I've ever had, and I'm so sorry that it's not available, but I will keep it either until it has like physical mold on it or I run out of it completely. So yeah, obviously it's obviously staying. This is the Catrice Sungasm highlighter. As you can see, it is massive, but the formula is really, really nice. And this is also only like $10 on Amazon, I think. Like, this is one of my favorite drugstore highlighters. Isn't that pretty? It's a little bit more on the, like, thick, creamy side than I generally prefer in highlighters. I really like super thin textures of highlighters that just go on the skin and melt right in. This one, even though it's a little bit thicker than the ones that I usually like the most, still does exactly what I want a highlighter to do without emphasizing all the texture on my face. So yeah, this is absolutely staying forever and ever. I feel like a bunch of my favorites are sitting on the top. This is another collection favorite. It's the Natasha Denona Super Glow. I have mine in the shade 2. They call it light medium, but it's a pretty light shade. That's what that one looks like. I'm gonna show you a swatch. You know I have to. It's got that super thin texture that I like in a highlighter that just melts right into the skin and gives the most beautiful gleam. It doesn't have a strong base color, so it really does look like your skin is just like wet. And I love that look. So yeah, beautiful highlighter. I mean, obviously at the price point it better be, but obviously it's staying. The Ofra highlighter in the shade Ozone. Also just an unbelievably beautiful, thin, wet-looking, beaming highlight. Exactly what I look for in a highlighter. All of Novelist Cheek products are incredible. I mean, their eyeshadows are also incredible. I love this brand, so obviously I'm keeping that. Like I said, all of my favorites kind of accidentally ended up on top, so I promise to do more decluttering as we go along. Benefit Cookie, another favorite. Definitely not going anywhere. Hate the packaging because it's the annoying box packaging, but oh my goodness, if this isn't one of the most beautiful highlighters in my collection, boom. Crazy beautiful. Although I will say, I think the Catrice Sungasm one and another Catrice one that I have in here that I'll show you in a little bit, they're very similar to this. So if you don't want to drop the $30, you can get comparable ones for cheaper. However, I love this and I'm very glad I have it. Let's talk Becca, huh? Becca. There's at least one more of these. Let's talk about Becca. Obviously, Becca is kind of tough in terms of which ones you can get your hands on, which ones you can't. For me, this is going to be pretty easy because I know which ones I like and which ones I never use. This one is Moonstone. It is a little mini of it. I don't know if they sell this color anymore. It's fine. For me, it's just a little, you know, lower impact than I normally want in a highlighter. I have my subtle ones that I really love, and this just isn't one of them, so I'm going to let this one go. First, this is going to be great to give away to somebody who really likes a subtler highlighter, though. This one, on the other hand, is Champagne Pop, which is super stunning. Really beaming and beautiful. It's like a peachy gold kind of color, and I really love that. So this one's going to stay for sure. It's also like a makeup classic, so how could I ever let go of that? This one is my favorite shade Becca's ever made. It's Opal. This was like the breast cancer awareness one I found at TJ Maxx. This is my favorite ever Becca shade. I am obsessed with this. And it will never, ever, ever leave my collection. Look at that. It's so beautiful. So Opal stays for sure. However, this one is Prosecco Pop, which number one, I don't even think they sell anymore. And number two, it's always been a shade of gold that's just like a little too yellow for me. And I always wanted to make it work. And I can make it work. I just don't want to keep fighting with it to make it work. You know what I mean? Like, this will be great, again, for someone a little deeper than me. I am not the target skin tone for something this yellow. So that one I'm going to pass on to somebody who's a little deeper than me. Okay, nice. 2 out of 4 Becca. Not bad, not bad. Since I mentioned during the Becca ones, one that's a little bit sheerer and subtler, this is my go-to for that. This is the Essence Pure Nude Highlighter. This is like $5, and it is the most beautiful, light sheen of a glow in the whole world. I just love it. It gives you this super natural, like, you know, quote unquote lit from within type of look, and I love it. So obviously that stays. Let's look at some of these liquids and creams. I'm trying to like organize this a little bit. So this is the Tarte Shape Tape Glow Wand in the shade of Light. I'm not sure how this is related to the concealer line. I don't know if they meant this to be for the under eyes or what, but for me, it makes a really beautiful, like, subtle, wet-looking liquid highlighter. A little bit goes a very long way, and it just makes this really beautiful, wet-looking glow. Do you see that? It's super pretty. Yeah. I really, really like this. I don't know if I would necessarily buy it at full price. I think this came in a BoxyCharm a while back or something, or in the drop shop or something. I don't know if I'd pay full price for it, but it is very pretty, so I'm keeping that. Couple of things that are sort of the Charlotte Tilbury knockoffs with the sponge applicators. Let's talk about these. This is supposedly the closest to the Charlotte Tilbury. It's the Flower Beauty Spotlight Highlighter in the shade Opal. When I tried this the first time, I think I just didn't squeeze out enough pigment. Whoa. Yeah, I definitely just didn't squeeze out enough pigment. Because I remember I wasn't all that impressed with the glow. Woo! Yeah. That was a user error on my part. That's very pretty. So, this is very new to me. I'll have to keep you updated on my thoughts, but look at that. That's gorgeous. So that's definitely, obviously staying. It's very new to my collection. The e.l.f. Halo Glow Wand in Champagne Campaign has been a really, really good addition to my collection. This is a beautiful shade, a really nice liquid formula. I really, really like this. They did a great job with the entire Halo Glow launch. I love the contour, the blush, and the highlighter, as you can see, is so beaming and beautiful. So pretty. So, love this. Obviously keeping it. And then this one is the Milani liquid highlighter, the Conceal and Perfect in the shade 1 Lunar. This, for me, was the furthest off from kind of my impression of the Charlotte Tilbury, because it's a very, like, yellow gold. The Charlotte Tilbury one is kind of a pinky color. This one is a very yellowy kind of gold shade, and it's pretty, but I'm trying to decide if I like it enough to hang on to it. There's nothing wrong with the formula. I just don't know if I love this exact shade on me. I'm gonna hang on to it for now because I'd like to be able to compare it to the Charlotte Tilbury if I ever get my hands on it one day. I'm hoping to snag it in the little set of the mini version for Christmas. If I don't, then I'll kind of reevaluate it, but I might soon be able to compare this to the real thing, so I'll hang on to it for now. This one, though, this is the Grande Glow. They call it the plumping liquid highlighter. I guess it has a little bit of a cooling sensation, but, you know, it's kind of weird. This is fine. There's nothing wrong with it. The formula's fine. It's very shiny. All the things that you want. I didn't do a great swatch, but there it is. I'm just not super attached to it, so I don't mind passing it on. This is the Revlon Skin Lights Illuminator in the shade 300 Sunrise Luster. This is a really, really beautiful golden liquid highlighter, but also because the tube is so big, I've been meaning to test this out as like a face base, like the Charlotte Tilbury one a little bit. It's very shiny though, so I tend to keep it with my liquid highlighters because I really like using it that way. But I might keep it in my base drawer just for a little while so I can try it as an all-over glow booster type thing. Either way, it's definitely staying. Let's just finish off liquids and creams if I can kind of find them all. This is the iconic Illuminator Drops. This is incredibly glowy, like super glowy. One of my glowiest liquids. I don't think I could ever get rid of it purely because of just the insane amount of glow it gives. I don't even know if it really does it justice on camera. Like, it is crazy glowy. And look at, just look how beautiful and wet that shine is. Yeah, I love these. I love these. Obviously, I'm keeping them. I know, I'm a clown. I'm a clown, okay? This, though, this is the e.l.f. Jelly Highlighter. I don't know. I heard this was, like, crazy and beaming, and, you know, the jelly texture's kind of fun. I don't know. I feel like it's just kind of unremarkable. Like, there's nothing super wrong with it, and it is very glowy. I mean, not as glowy. Now, in comparison to the iconic drops, it looks pretty lame, huh? I don't know. And I feel like it's kind of sticky, and I don't know. Something about the texture to me is just off. It's not bad. It's just not for me. So I'm going to pass that on. My hand is so glittery. I'm so sorry. This one's a cream. This is the Sydney Grace cream highlighter. These are newer to their line, and this is newer to my collection. It's in the shade On a Cloud. It's this very icy, kind of with a little bit of a light golden color to it. Really thin texture. Oh, that's glitterier than I remembered. Woo! Well, those are like chunks of glitter. I don't know if I love that. Interesting, interesting. So that's what that looks like. You can see it's got like actual chunks of glitter in it. It's very shiny and very pretty. I just, especially in creams, I don't usually go for the glitter thing. I don't know if that'll translate to the face though, so I am gonna hang on to it, especially because it is so new to my collection, and I wanna see if that glitteriness translates to the face. If so, I'll probably declutter it, but if not, I'd like to hang on to it because I really like supporting Sydney Grace. They're an indie brand. Their stuff's super high quality. So I'm going to keep testing this one more and see if that looks the same way on the face as it does in a swatch. Because they can be very different. This is the Tarte Maracuja Juicy Glow. Mine's in the shade Champagne Glow. It is in the same exact packaging as the Maracuja Juicy Lips. On a swatch, this is a pretty unimpressive highlighter. I remember swatching it and being like, is that it, really? But on the face, and once you blend it in, it looks so dewy and so wet. It's just this effortless looking highlight. You see what I mean? Like, it's super wet looking glow. I love the way this looks on the cheeks, even if the swatch is somewhat underwhelming, so it's definitely staying. This is one of the all-time best cream highlighters just ever. Hourglass Vanish Stick. Mine's in the shade Gold Flash. Super thin formula. Beaming from space. Insane glow. It's gold, but not so gold that it looks crazy on my ultra pale skin. There it is. I mean, it's just... This is the blueprint for cream highlighter. Absolutely. So, obviously, I will never get rid of this, ever. And this one down here is the Rare Beauty little mini liquid highlighter. It's the shade Mesmerize. Not my ideal shade, but it came in a little set with other products. So, you know, you take what you get. And I do like the formula. It's very thin. The glow is not, like, insane, but it is very nice. It's kind of a middle-of-the-road level of glow. It's very pretty. I like how it sits on the skin. So, obviously, I'm going to hang on to it. It's Rare Beauty, and I love everything Rare Beauty. Okay, so the creams are going great. Oh, this is a cream. This is the Marc Jacobs, the Dewdrops. I talked about these in on the chopping block video. Literally have not looked at or thought about it since, so I'm fine letting that one go. This is technically a cream. Let's talk about this. The Kaja Mochi Glow highlighter in the shade Luna. It's fine. I like the color's cute. The packaging's adorable, obviously. The color's cute. The texture's fun. It's got that like bouncy texture to it. It's just A, I forget about it, and B, is underwhelming, you know? So I'm gonna pass this on. It's fine, but it's not my cup of tea when it comes to highlighter. All right, to round out the creams, I suppose we should talk about my ColourPop Super Shock highlights. We'll start with my number one, my go-to, my ride or die, Miss Flexitarian. As you can see, she has been very well loved. I cannot believe this isn't dried out. I've had this for so long, but it performs as well as the day I got it. So, you know, for what that's worth. Holy crap. Yeah, look at that. This is what I'm talking about. Just that beautiful shine to the gods to space kind of highlighting look. Obviously, I would blend it out more than this on my skin. Duh. But I mean, even when you blend it out, it's like, wow. Yeah, obviously this goes nowhere. If you're a big fan of, like, glowing to the gods kind of highlighter, I cannot say enough about this one. Let me put you on, girl. Run, don't walk. It's like $9. This one is Lunch Money. It's a little bit more of a subtle glow, and that is why I'm not entirely sure about it. It's very pretty. It's this very soft gold, but it's very soft. That's kind of my thing with it. It's very soft. You can kind of see it. Yeah, I'm gonna pass this on to someone who'll get more use out of it than I do. Someone who likes a subtle highlighter more than me. I like subtle sometimes, but I kind of have my go-tos when I'm looking for subtle. And this just isn't really one of them. When I go to the Super Shocks, I want it to be like beaming crazy, shiny as hell, not this type of thing, you know? So someone else would use this more. This is Guilty Pleasure. It is a very beautiful, like, pinky gold duochrome Super Shock highlight. Not as beaming as Flexitarian, I would say, but still a very beautiful shade. But then as I look at it, I'm like, is that too gold for my skin tone? I don't think so. Well, is it? Nah, I don't think so. Especially once I have foundation on that's usually a little bit darker. It doesn't leave a stripe, so I'm okay with it. And I just love that duochrome that it has. It's really unique in my collection. So yeah, this one stays. So I'm definitely not getting rid of any of the rest of the Super Shocks because they are collabs, but I'll show them to you. This is from the Avatar collab. It is the shade Moon Peach. Kind of became an unexpected favorite for me. I thought it was just going to be this kind of like peachy, glowy highlighter, but it has this really interesting like blue and purple sparkle in it that made it really unique in my collection. I don't even know if you can really tell, but I love it. It's so gorgeous. The blue and purple really make it for me, honestly. They make it really unique and interesting, so I love this one. A, because it's in the Avatar collection, but B, because it's just like, wow, you know? So obviously that stays. And then the other two, of course, are not going anywhere because they are from the Harry Potter collection. I love Harry Potter. The art on these is precious. I will never, ever get rid of these. I literally keep them in their boxes because I love the art so much. This one's Hedwig. It is a really beautiful icy white with like purple and blue marbled into it. Gorgeous. I will show you a swatch, of course. Super pretty. I feel like the blue and purple really add some dimension to the icy white of it. So gorgeous, stunning, has my sweet little owl friend on it. Obviously stays. But the one I like even better is Buckbeak. First of all, he's so cute. Second of all, this shade is so gorgeous. Buckbeak. It looks like it's going to be kind of deep because of this kind of brown shade, But when you swirl it with the cream color, it ends up being like pretty close to my skin tone. And it's just so wet and shiny and beautiful, and I love it so much. So of course, Buckbeak stays as well because just look at him. Obviously. All right, so those were all the creams. We're doing just powders from here on out. And while we're on the subject of collabs, let's talk about it. This is from the new Sailor Moon collab. I talked about my attachment to ColourPop's Sailor Moon collabs in the blush video, but if you didn't see that video, I will tell you here. I grew up watching Sailor Moon. My best friend since we were toddlers and I bonded over watching Sailor Moon together. We have matching moon tattoos, so Sailor Moon is something very near and dear to my heart. So when they did the first collab, I bought a bunch of stuff, and when they did the second collab, I bought the palette and this highlighter in the shade Moonlight. It is a pink with kind of a bluish, purplish reflect, and the pink kind of ends up almost disappearing, and you get a lot of that blue flash. It's very pretty. Even if I didn't like it, I would keep it, obviously, because you know, I have an emotional attachment to Sailor Moon, but I do like it. It's very pretty. It's a little bit subtler for like a colorful highlight, and I like that. So obviously this beautiful thing is staying. Okay, so what can I declutter? I can go ahead and declutter this one. This is from Artist Couture. It's a loose highlighter in Summer Haze. It's fine. There's nothing really wrong with it. It's a little glittery for my taste, and I feel like if I'm gonna use a loose highlighter just because they're messy and they take a little bit of extra work, I kind of want it to be something really remarkable. And this is fine. It's pretty. It's just kind of more trouble than it's worth, you know? So I'm gonna pass this along. Similarly, I have this Laura Mercier Candlelight Mineral Illuminating Powder. Again, it's fine. There's nothing really wrong with it. It's just that if I want to use a loose highlighter, I want it to be something super special, and for me, this one's just kind of good, but not anything crazy. So I'm okay letting that one go as well. This one, though, this is a loose highlighter that is worth putting in the work for. This is from Wet n Wild. It's in the shade I'm So Lit, I think. It's not on here. I'm just pretty sure that's the name of the shade. It is so crazy stunning. I just blew a bunch of the highlighter everywhere. That's nice. Not a bunch. Being a little dramatic. Okay, but this is what it looks like. It's so beaming and stunning. I love it. It's just, it makes your skin look like wet and like fractally diamonds. I love this. Love this, love this. It stays. This is Ofra's Rodeo Drive. Beautiful golden highlighter. I don't really need to swatch it. It looks like what you'd think it would look like. I love it. I'm keeping it. This was a surprising find for me. This is from Jaclyn Cosmetics. It's her highlighter in the shade Iced. It's the mini. It's a really, really beautiful highlighter. I use this a lot, actually. I did not expect to like this as much as I do, but it has a really beautiful thin formula that is very shiny and very wet looking, so I enjoy it a lot. So I'm gonna keep that one as well. Revlon Skin Lights is the next closest thing to the ABH Amrezy highlighter of anything I've ever tried. It is so similar. The color is similar. The formula is similar. Everything about it is similar. If you didn't get your hands on the ABH one when it was out, this is what you want. So, love this. Keeping it. Let's see. Catrice More Than Glow. This is my closest thing to Benefit's Cookie. It is crazy beautiful, and actually it might even be shinier than Cookie. And it's only $6 on Amazon, so, you know, do with that information what you will, but I will be hanging on to it. This I don't even really use as a highlighter. This is the Fenty Diamond Bomb in How Many Carats. More than anything, I use this as an eyeshadow topper, and I love it for that. Not gonna swatch it because it will leave glitter flecks all over my hand, and I still need to do some swatches of the rest of these, but I love this, and probably I should be keeping it in my single eyeshadow drawer and not my highlighter drawer. But regardless, it stays. What am I doing? Makeup by Mario highlighter in the shade Pearl. In hindsight, I kind of wish I'd gotten a different shade because I think the lighter shade is more like beaming than this one. This one's a little softer than I wanted it to be. You can barely see it, dude. Oh, man. Because I like the formula, I really do. And I spent a lot of money on this, man. It's just not what I thought it was gonna be. I don't know. I like it when I wear it. Am I like 100% rationalizing because I like Makeup by Mario and I spent my own money on this and I want to keep it? Yeah. And you know what? For me, that's a good enough reason. So I am. I know I'm being a clown, okay? I know that, but whatever. Let's see. This one is from Milk Makeup. I got this at a TJ Maxx a while back, and I don't even know if they sell this anymore. It's kind of broken, number one. It's the Flex highlighter in the shade Iced. Number one, it's broken. Number two, I just feel like it's kind of underwhelming for me. It's just kind of gold glitter. I don't know. I don't really think of it ever. Like, sometimes I see it sitting in the back of my drawer and I, like, feel bad that I haven't used it. And I feel like that's a sign that it's just not really serving a role in my collection anymore. So, I mean, look, it does look pretty, yes, but I have things that look that pretty and, like, way prettier. I'm not, like, having a reaction to how pretty that is, so I think she can go. I think her time has been served. So this is MAC Double Gleam, kind of a beauty community classic. I get why, it's very pretty. And I feel like it would work for a lot of people because it's got a really thin formula and it's not like super crazy high beam. It's got a very like wet kind of shine to it. It's very pretty, but I wouldn't call it subtle, you know, like it's very shiny. I do enjoy this. I feel like I expected it to be more like beaming, like see it from space, but I guess that's not really MAC's thing. I like it. I really enjoy it. So obviously I'm hanging on to it. It's also just kind of like a piece of beauty history, you know? So definitely needs to be in my collection. You know, I think as much as it hurts my feelings, I think I need to stop pretending that Precious Petals works on my skin tone. Because it doesn't. Like, it's too dark, and I know it's too dark, and I've known it was too dark for the entire time I've owned it. I've just kind of been living in delusion because it's so beautiful. And I want it to work on my skin tone, but it leaves a pink cast on my skin. You can see that pink stripe? Yeah, highlighter shouldn't really do that. It's also probably way expired by now because it's so old. So I need to let go of it, even though it is so, so beautiful. This is sad, but it's been fun. It's been fun, Precious Petals, but you gotta go. This I love. This is the Milani Baked Highlighter in Dolce Perla. Super beautiful. All the things I like. Very thin formula. Super easy to blend right into the skin, but has this like gorgeous wet shine. Yes, I am a broken record at this point, but hey, I know what I like in highlighter and I stick to it. Then again, this can be built up to be like very icy and blinding if you want it to be. So she's also versatile and I like that. So staying. This is a little mini Fenty highlighter in Hustla Baby. It's very beautiful, like peachy gold. It's on like the ragged edge of being too dark for me. But I don't think it's quite there. And I really like the formula and I really like the colors, so I'm keeping it. And also I love Fenty, so it's not quite too dark. I don't think so. I don't think it leaves a stripe like a too dark stripe, you know? I think it's easy to blend into the skin and make it pretty gold flash. So, staying. I don't care, I love Fenty, okay? And then there were three. Okay, I feel like I've been putting these off because I have kind of like mixed feelings about all of them. So let's talk. This is an Ofra highlighter in the shade Glazed Donut. It's one of the Nikki Tutorial collab highlighters. And it is very beautiful. I love the Ofra highlighter formula. It is a stark white highlighter though. And there is very rarely a time in my life when I feel the need to use a stark white highlighter. Like, even on me, that's like as blended out as I can get. Oh, see, but then I look at it on camera and I'm like, oh, I see why I would want to use a stark white highlighter. Look at that. Yeah, that made up my mind for me. I'm keeping it. I was like, oh, doesn't it look too icy? No, it looks beautiful and perfect. Yeah, no, that easy decision, actually. I take that back. Okay, these two I feel like have made it to this point for similar reasons, and it is because, I'm gonna move this. These two have made it to this point for similar reasons, and I feel like it's because they're both kind of subtle, but like kind of not. But then I also like forget to use them because I just don't really think about them because I feel like I have other things that do the job that they do, but like better. So this is Essence, the highlighter. It's fine. There's really nothing wrong with it. It's a pretty subtle gold highlight. There's that. And I don't know. It is pretty. But I feel like, you know what? I want to swatch this next to Pure Nude. Give me a second. I'm going to swatch it next to Pure Nude and we'll reevaluate. Okay, so I swatched them out next to each other. Trying to get it to focus a little better. They're so subtle. It's kind of hard to see, but that one is Pure Nude. And then this one that's a little bit glowier and a little brighter is the highlighter. They do look different. I'm gonna hold on to it. This is my collection and I can do what I want. Last but not least, we have the Clinique highlighter in Lunar Pop, and honestly, truly, I pretty much hang on to this for the packaging. Look at the little flower embossing. Isn't that precious? I do like it. It's pretty. But I am also aware that 90% of the reason that I have it is for the packaging, and you know what? I don't care. If I want to keep it for the packaging, I'm going to keep it for the packaging. So Clinique Lunar Pop stays too. I'm not going to agonize over whether or not I should get rid of something that ultimately I know I want to keep, so I'm going to keep it. So anyway, that's all of them. Let's see how we did. Not great, but also not terrible, I feel like. Alrighty, so highlighters are decluttered. These are the ones that I'm keeping, and I'm aware that it looks pretty much identical to the pile that I started with, but I did actually end up decluttering 5 creams, 7 powders, and a palette. So that's 13 things, which I think is actually pretty respectable. So you know what? I am considering this a job well done. So I'm happy with it. I'm happy with what I kept, and that's all that really matters. All right, you guys, that is it for the highlighter declutter. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like down below. Leave me a comment. Let me know what your highlighter favorites have been for this year or for all time. I would love to hear it. I'm a sucker for anything shiny, obviously. If you want to see more of my declutter series and my upcoming best of 2023, please hit subscribe down below. I would absolutely love to have you, and I have some really fun stuff planned for the new year as well, so this would be the perfect time to hit subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye you guys.